Today on Free to Play Entertainment, we are watching episode 5 of Falcon and Winter Soldier in just a second. Well, we are 4 episodes down of this amazing series that came in with a bang, and then it built some developed characters, and then we ended it up last episode with John Walker and his shield covered in blood. Like, I don't know where it's going, but I know it's gonna be awesome as we get ready to land the plane next week with the finale. But right now, we're gonna watch episode 5. Are you ready? You are now free to play. Once again, we've got this struggle with loss. He just lost his conscience in losing Lamar Hoskins. That guy was essentially the best of him. It's like they feel for him right now, right? Because they know what it's like to lose. So once again, we have that theme of how do you deal with grief? Gosh. And the showdown begins. It's like, come and get it. Get it, Buck. Man, this looks very familiar, right? Wow, this is like such a throwback scene right here. Ooh. Came for the arm. Good lord. This dude is unhinged. Oh, come on, Buck. Oh my gosh. You're a psycho. Oh. Good lord. Let's go, Bucky. Let's go. Ooh, come on, Falcon. You ain't done yet, huh? Oh! Man, this is crazy. Wow, he doesn't want it. Come on, Falcon. You gotta step into this, brother. I think to begin with, you should get out of there, because that brother's still a soup, and I don't know how long he's staying down. He got his sleeve back from when he ripped it. Ooh, see, that was symbolic right there. Traded in the wings for the shield. Traded in the wings for the shield. Ooh, we just saw it. We just saw it, y'all. We just saw the transformation from Falcon to Captain America. So what they gonna do about him walking around with serum? Disavowed, baby. Why are they trying to make me feel for him again?
Be fortunate, Mr. Walker, and return the shield to us with expedience.
They just created a villain, y'all. They just created a legit villain with a compelling backstory. Another one of those gray villains. Oh, is that Fury? Who that? Who that? No, that's some woman. Oh my gosh, who is it? Who is it? Sharon?
Well, these boots are not made for walking.
Ah! I love that Elaine Veep showed up in the MCU. Dope. Is she the power broker? So who is she? Does it just say power broker? That'd be dope, right? I love that Julia Louis-Dreyfus is in the MCU. I'm a big fan. I literally was just referencing her yesterday. Did they keep that a secret that she was going to be in this? Because I don't remember ever hearing that. My buddy Eric did say that somebody new was coming that we'd never met. We're going to be talking about that on the podcast, on the Good Dad, Bad Dad podcast. Check it out. What they going to do? It's about to be World War III up in here. Uh-oh, what's about to go down? What's about to go down? What's about to go down? So that's him like officially letting go of the old him. He's like, that ain't me. You going back to Wakanda, baby boy. Can I get another arm?
Stars and stripes don't mean nothing good to me.
That's deep.
That bitter old man thing with me. If you ain't bitter, you're blind.
Ooh! Oh.
She had me declared dead.
When death is mercy.
Let a black man be Captain America.
Ooh, so times changed.
Self-respecting black man would ever want to be.
Ooh, that one's deep. That one's deep. Have times changed? Can the past be redeemed? Is there hope for a better way? This is who you are, Anthony. Sam. So no longer the blind hope and blind optimism. Now we might get to see a seasoned, strengthened Sam Wilson who goes forward still in hope, but it's in spite of.
Sign for it and I'll go.
Are those the wings? He ain't gonna accept them, is he? Oh, the way she smiled at Buck. Think this is a helpful emotional shift, because it was real thick and heavy and like hurting me, man, in the midst of all that's going on in our world even now. No. Liar. False. Just trying to button up a story. She ain't buying it. She like, I'm sorry. Come on, rip it off the wall. I know I want to. Rip it off. Come on, rip it off.
I promise you won't regret saying yes.
She's got to be the power broker, right? Like, come on. So is Buck gonna take the shield? After the whole Isaiah Bradley situation, Falcon's not sure he wants that. Does Buck want it? Wow, this is a really like Baywatch moment right here with the slow-mo by the water. Is this one of those scenes that's just for the ladies? Is that what that was?
I owe you an apology. I'm sorry.
Wow. That was some real stuff right there, man.
You gotta stop looking to other people to tell you who you are.
Ooh, come on. Preach, brother. Let's be honest. They're a team. We all know it. You can say what you want. They're a team. They're brothers for life now. So why does he suddenly look like he doesn't know how to use his shield? Even though he was doing it great earlier. I'm confused though. I will admit I'm confused. He seemed to have it down like in the last scene. And now he can't catch it to save his life. So this is like a Rocky scene right here. For reals, for reals. It's like the training montage. I can see him like pulling a tractor or something. Chasing chickens. Now let's just have him running up a flight of... That wasn't even Anthony Mackie. Why would they slow-mo on somebody that clearly ain't him? The shield can still inspire hope to the next generation of young black Americans. And it's only because you take the shield on that hope is possible, brother. We can't walk away from it. We gotta redeem it. Yes. So wait a minute, was he who Sharon Carter was talking to? So are these people hypnotized? Or is that just they're that all in? That really seemed like hypnosis. Did anybody else catch that? And the way they look? Oh, he's a flag smasher. It's about to go down. Oh, about to be a ring of fire, baby. So what's going to happen with those wings? Is he going to be Captain America with wings? Is that how that's going to work? What? Maybe. I don't remember from the comics. Oh my goodness. I bet they made him a suit that was like stars and stripes. That was like his transformation into Cap. Yes. He had to pull in some favors. That was the Wakandans that did it. Because the American government wasn't trying to do that. But the Wakandans would. Dope, dope, dope. Well, you guys, guess what? So I just finished watching the episode maybe about 10 minutes ago. And then I got a text message. My homie Eric, who actually podcasts with me at a new podcast called Good Dad, Bad Dad Podcast. Check it out. He actually messaged me and said there is a mid-credit scene. I didn't know this. And I hope you found this out already. So if you haven't already seen it, I don't want to ruin this for you right now. So why don't you go ahead, pause this video, head on over to Disney Plus and check it out. But if you watched it, here goes my reactions to that. The becoming of U.S. agent. He's building his own shield. He's building his own shield. Wow, that looks legit too. You guys, see, this is it. This is it. This is the creation of another multi-layered villain. A guy who had like a desire to do what was right and to serve, but then got twisted along the way. This is getting so good. All right, here comes my hot takes. So this episode has like some jewels in here that they've been working out as we've progressed, and man, some deep stuff that I think we should go into a little bit. There's some exciting things in there, but there's some things in there that's like, wow, we really need to evaluate what's going on. So let's take a look at, there's 3 things that I think I really would like to talk about, 3 concepts and multiple examples I think that they set up throughout this episode that relate to those concepts. So number 1 is racism. Like, I hate to go into that, but like, this is very clear. You can't ignore it from this. And if I'm being honest, as I was watching this series and I saw them first touch on that, I think it was Isaiah Bradley's probably first episode that really went deeper into it, but they were touching on it with the bank episode. But now, this one, it's no longer just an overlay. It's really part of the core of what's going on in this story, because it's at the core of what we see going on in Sam's heart as he's trying to figure out things. And what I love is that they didn't just take a stance that's like the prevailing political thought, or they didn't just come out and, bang the drum for any specific thing, other than clearly racism is pointed out as an evil in this. And one of the things that I liked really, so my first point related to racism, and I was talking about this with a pastor friend of mine, is this understanding that they've had with the story of the nuance of it. And there's nuance we see in the way that they're addressing here, because you have the really strong historical pains of racism that Isaiah Bradley brings to the table as he just conveys his experience of just being, brutalized at the hands of, the government there, and the racist ways in which they just traumatized him, and how he's now in hiding as a result of that. And the pain that he brings to that conversation, it's very palpable. Like you can feel it, and you even see Sam really being struck by that. And the question is, at the core of Sam's, I think, engagement after that is like, how do I respond? How do I engage with America? What has been my experience? And is Captain America and the role itself just set aside only for white Americans? Is this even a thing to aspire to? Because Isaiah's like, they'll never let one.
No self-respecting black man would ever want to be.
So then the question that Isaiah's thrusting out is like, well, hey, if you don't think like I do about America, then you don't respect yourself. And while I think there's absolute truth, like that's the name of the episode. I love that. The name of the episode is Truth. In the reality of that experience that Isaiah had, and the experience that we even see Sam had in the present with different racist scenarios. And there's plenty of racism that was true and still is true. But the question that we really want to get to in regards to racism is that the identity of America? Or is there a nuanced truth about America's identity that isn't either this or this. And that's how so many things are set up. That's the polarized nature of America right now. It's either this or it's this. And I believe, and we see Falcon being set up as this character that believes this, that actually it's not black and it's not white. There's more gray. There's ability for us to navigate somewhere in the middle of this. And he does a great, like a masterful job throughout this series of being a moral center. The same thing, that's why I was such a Team Cap guy that Steve Rogers was, is that moral center of saying, hey, you guys, meet me here. It's not that Carly, right? It's not that John Walker. It's not this Bucky, right? It's not this government. It's more of this, like, and it's just a beautiful thing to watch. So he's standing in the place of nuance, and especially in regards to this conversation of racism. I think another central issue that they discuss pretty heavily is this concept of redemption, and is redemption possible? So I think that really goes well with that thought and that conversation about racism, where it's like, okay, yeah, there's a clear history of racism. And it was really good for, Sam to understand that history and to take that in and to even like hear this guy's story so that he walks out with that. But like, is that it? Is that all she wrote? Right? With that being, the past of America, the question I think Falcon is asking is, can America be redeemed? Can this shield be redeemed? Like, it is now literally covered in blood. Is there redemption possible, or do I just need to throw it away? Like, do I need to discard this thing, or can it be redeemed? We see a Bucky asking that question of himself throughout his journey in this series. Can I be redeemed, or am I always going to be the Winter Soldier? Will I always be haunted by those things of my past? And in the scene where he faces off with Zemo, and he's got the opportunity to just end Zemo, right? Zemo's on his list, and he doesn't. And I love the scene where he drops the bullets. And that was like him casting aside what was being placed on him as who he was. And now he's like, no. I can be redeemed. I can be redeemed. I don't have to be Winter Soldier. I can be James Barnes. Call me Buck. Like that. That's like, I think, some cool symbolism of his engagement with redemption. But then we meet a new character somewhere in this story, right? What was it? Contessa Val something or another. I don't remember all that. But like Elaine, let's call her Elaine or Veep or whatever you want. Like, that was dope when she showed up. And it's like, who are you? But what she's offering John Walker is like this opportunity for redemption. Right? Like, hey, you're not a discarded thing. There's still value in you there. And because John Walker is sitting there thinking like, is my story over? Am I old news now? Can I be redeemed? And while it's not being redeemed for good purposes, it is being redeemed from the trash and being put to use, right? And then lastly, I think what encompasses all of these, this understanding of nuanced racism, this understanding of redemption, is at its core identity. And so when they're talking about truth, I think that's really what they're getting at for each one of these characters. Who am I truly? Who is America truly? Is America, by identity's nature, racist? Or is America something different? Can their identity be redeemed? Is it like for Sam Wilson? Am I Falcon? Right? Am I the winged sidekick, or am I the next Captain America? In engagement with the redemption of America, he determines whether or not he himself going to pick up the shield. And we see ultimately that he does. And he begins to step into that new evolution of his identity as the one who's going to redeem the understanding of what it is to be an American. And I think it's so beautiful if Cap himself, or if Sam himself, steps into being Captain America, having gone through that process of no longer just having blind optimism, but it's seasoned. Like he's gone through the crucible. He's been encouraged and challenged and rebuked by his elders. He takes that history, he internalizes it, and he still determines, you know what? I know the history of the past. I know the pain of the present, but I've got hope for the future. I'm going to take this shield and I'm going to clean it up. And I'm going to push forward. And like, that's the leader that America needs right there. Sam Wilson. Thank you. So that understanding of identity, and we see that with John Walker when he's being court-martialed, I believe it is, or whatever you want to call it, when they less than honorably discharge him and they say you are no longer Captain America. He was fighting for that. The fight scene early on in the episode with John Walker and Bucky and Falcon there, they're fighting for the shield, and John Walker's like, you're trying to take my identity, right? When our identity feels like it's under attack, like you just revolt, you react violently, and that's what we see there. And I thought it was cool. I thought it was really cool. That fight scene, did y'all recognize anything? That had some real similar shades. Shout out to my new friend Andy. I falsely remembered the connection between this scene and a scene from Civil War. It wasn't the scene with Black Panther. It was actually the scene where you got Bucky and Cap fighting against Iron Man, right? And they're going back and forth and back and forth. And there, really what's at play in that fight is the sense of, and the same thing in this fight, the sense of what's truly righteous, the right thing, versus the emotionally charged one, right? So Tony in Civil War was like all in his feelings about wanting, Winter Soldier to be kind of taken down, put down, and that they would be under the control of the government. And Bucky and Cap were like fighting for freedom and redemption. And now we see here, you got Falcon and Winter Soldier now fighting for that identity of Captain America. And once again, what is being done to that symbol, and they're trying to redeem it. And I think it was so cool to see how they're kind of giving a throwback to that as well. But we see overall the understandings of nuance in the conversation of racism, of redemption, and is it possible? Yeah, it is. And identity. Who are you? Are you what you did? Or is there something deeper and more fundamentally true and unshakable about who you are? So that was a really deep and dope episode. I really can't wait to see how they close this thing out. I hope they do one of these numbers instead of one of these numbers. I felt like WandaVision kind of like, woo. But I hope this one keeps soaring through the clouds on Falcon's wings. Come on, somebody. I don't know about y'all. I love Falcon now. Like before this series, I thought he was like, yeah, just kind of Cap sidekick. Yeah, I like your wings. Yeah, cool. But like he is really demonstrating himself to have the character of that same kind of Steve Rogers guy that really had my heart to begin with, and I love it. He's the type of guy that I want to be as I continue to mature and grow. But you guys, I've got an exciting thing for you right now. There's a new segment that I'm trying to introduce that I'd love to be able to have more and more of each episode. It is a segment called 5 with a Friend. And so that is going to be where I invite friends and new friends into the show to share for a handful of minutes their hot takes, their responses and reactions to the content, be it an episode of a show, a movie, whatever it is that we're talking about. And you yourself can have that same opportunity to get on the show right here with me. So in the description of this video, you will see a link to a little form. fill that thing out, and that'll put you in the queue as somebody who wants to be on the show. And hey, depending on how many submissions we have, I might choose at random or based on how many comments and interactions that person does. So basically, Squeaky Wheel gets the grease and gets to be on this show. So hopefully that's you, because I would love to engage with you guys and get to know you and have you be a part of the journey here on Free to Play Entertainment. So having said that, let's invite Gloria, my very first friend on the show. Get in here, Gloria. Well, here we are, everybody. It is the first 5 with a friend, and my inaugural friend is my good friend Gloria. Say hi, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
All right, well, Gloria, so you've watched now episode 5 of the Falcon Winter Soldier. I know you're a huge Sebastian Stan fan. The whole Cap journey is like, that's your wheelhouse. So what are you thinking right now? What's your reaction?
So the whole time I've loved watching like Bucky's journey and just how you can see how he's been in pain and how he's trying to come to wraps with everything, and you just feel for him. And then I just love watching the friendship that has been growing between him and Sam, and it's just so much. It's so much fun to just the little jokes that are there that they even tie in from the movies, and then the jokes that come up. And like, I'm such a fan that I watch even like interviews of them, and you can see the friendship that they have behind the scene that's still coming through. So like, I love everything about the two of them. And you kind of just in this episode finally see him kind of be like, like almost breathing out of like, like,
you know what? And I think when that scene with what was it with Zemo, where he like drops the bullets, I feel like that right there was like a big moment, you know?
Well, and I was like, when he was holding the gun the whole time, I'm like, there's nothing in it. There's nothing in it. There's nothing in it. And then like when he pulled the trigger, I was like, okay, there was nothing in it. And then and
you know what I was impressed in that scene too was actually Zemo. Like I was like, oh, Zemo was just like, yeah, you know what? Like this is the role that I should play. So go ahead and take me out. I think it's time, you know. Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool.
And then I like with like even Zemo that like he's not going to like his death that they said in there like he's gonna live out his days like with us. Yeah. So I like that. Like it's not just about the end punishment is death for his end punishment is he has to live with us. And then I kind of was like, oh, don't show your face here, or don't show your face Wakanda for a bit, White Wolf. Like,
yeah. I was like, yeah. You should probably just take a little break. Yeah, but I totally appreciate that. It was about justice and not vengeance. So hey, do I see behind you? You got some Funkos there? What's going on there? Who do we got?
So I have my Funkos, and I have my Winter Soldier from this one's the Civil War Cap one. Nice, and then because I'm also a huge Cap fan, as you said, I have my Captain America ones. So and then what I love with Funko is once he turns back to Bucky, instead of Winter Soldier, he goes back to being Bucky Barnes. So nice. And I also really liked seeing again with like Sam and Bucky how Bucky comes down and helps Sam, and when he delivers the package, which we don't know what it is, but I think it's a Cap suit. At first I was like, oh, it's Falcon, and then I'm like, no, I'm wondering if it's a Cap suit.
I actually think so. This is a good place to, because I actually just got through saying that I think it is a hybrid, like a Cap suit with wings, you know.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like,
that would be cool.
It would be. So I'm wondering if it's maybe it's like the Falcon with the Cap colors.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, like Stars and Stripes deal, you know, because he's clearly taking on the Shield, right?
Right.
So
and like I love because Steve was a super soldier, and even Walker in the end becomes a super soldier, even though he was a human before. And I love that Sam is trying to take it on as a human. Yeah. Into that role. So, and that's what I love, which is also why, you know, I don't know, just it's cool to see. And then I also do wish there was more Sharon Carter.
Yeah, well, you know what? So, okay, so you said it. I think that she's the power broker. And I know we still had that Tessa, whatever her name is, show up, and maybe that's what her role is there, but I still think Sharon Carter is that mysterious power broker. What are your thoughts about Sharon?
There is something going on, and I think she's mad at things, so it wouldn't surprise me if she becomes the power broker, because her name is kind of in mud right now, isn't it? And so she's
and like, okay, did you hear that conversation that she was having with it was somebody that was like released from a Algerian prison, I want to say, they said, and we didn't really know for sure who it was. And then like almost in the next scene, you've got oh gosh, I can't remember the guy's name. The dude that was in the opening episode against Falcon, that was like the flying squirrel. He was also in Winter Soldier. So then he's suddenly showing up meeting Carly and the Flag Smashers. So I was feeling like that Sharon's behind the scenes pulling those strings and connecting those. So I don't know. So what about the end credit scene? I mean, you saw the end credit scene, right? What did you think about that?
Okay, so it was funny because normally I fast forward it just in case. And this was, you know, obviously the first time they did. So John was in the kitchen, and I just happened to look up and I'm like, oh my gosh, John, come back. And he was running in to watch it. And I was like, I said, I totally think he's making a shield. And of course, and John's like, what? I'm like, I think he's making a shield, because, you know, he's a little off his rocker at this time. Yeah, a little. And so then where I'm like, oh my gosh, he's totally making a shield. So I think we'll have like, you know, crazy Cap versus, you know, real Cap.
The way I was envisioning it when I saw that scene was, it was almost like, I mean, you like photography, right? So it's almost like when you take a picture, like, well, at least old school version, and you have the negative of an image, you know, like John Walker's the negative of the image of Captain America, you know, like all the good things inversed. You know?
Right. That's a great way to think of it. Yeah. So I'm so curious to see how this plays out.
Yeah, me too.
Great.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, Gloria. Hey, it was awesome having you on here, and I think we might do this again. So if you or maybe some other friends are open, and hey, you guys watching right now, you can be one of the friends show up. I don't see my viewers as fans. You guys are all friends and potential friends. So just go ahead and click on the link in the description. That'll take you to a little form that you can fill out to be a friend on the show. I'd love to be chatting with you guys on here. So thank you so much, Gloria. Say bye-bye, y'all.
Bye.
Well, if you enjoyed that episode, make sure you give us a like and subscribe, because we're going to be coming at you every Monday with some great new content. I'm getting excited as we're getting closer to some Star Wars stuff coming out. We got Black Widow coming out later this summer. There's so many fun things for us to be talking about, and I can't wait to be sharing it with you here on Free to Play Entertainment, where we help you live with conviction, play with passion, and faithfully have fun. We'll see you next time. Peace.